Well, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. You know it is JJ with you. And if you're first time here, make sure you hit the subscribe button. Don't forget the like button. At least that'll let YouTube know what time it is. And also, too, don't forget your drink and snack right here. You pick a cup a little bit so we can get started. Today is the day we're going to go back and look at pre-built PCs. I know you guys are thinking this kind of boring looking at pre-built PCs, but there are some people out there that would enjoy looking for a pre-built PC on Sundays because usually people on Sundays got a lot not to do. Other they go to church, they come home after that, they want to look at some content. So today, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be looking at some pre-built PCs. So let's just jump right into it and see what's going on. All right, we got you on the action screen, everybody. Big cursor's already ready to go. And I already got some stuff lined up for you. We're going to stroll through Amazon. Okay, we're going to do a little strolling through Amazon and look piece by piece. Now, they got this one right here with the 4060, 8 gigabytes of system RAM, or no, VRAM. Sorry. 8 gigabytes of VRAM. Look, I'm about half awake, half asleep, don't you know? 32 gigabytes of DDR4, 3200 megahertz, 1 terabyte NVMe SSD with ARGB cool. How the hell you ARGB cool? Does ARGB got cooling? This is what I want to know. They probably don't. So, it's for $899. It's got a 5700X, 4060. Not a bad deal. I got the 5700X. I know how it runs. It runs really well. And I got the 4070, and this is the 4060. So, thinking about it, then you got more room for future proofing. I mean, this looks like a 240. 240 on the top, 240 on the side, 120 on the back, and they got an air cooler. Not bad. Not bad. They could put two 120s on the bottom to pull the air. Well, no, because, well, yeah. Let's look into that a little bit. Let's go through the pictures and see if we see anything. Let's go through the pictures a little bit. Yeah, you can put two 120 fans down at the bottom. Get two at top, two at the bottom, two on the side, one on the back. Air cooler on top. Looks like it's 4 heat pipes. It's got two sticks of RAM in there. That's a cool little PC. Glass front. That's what it looks like because of the rubber grommets. You can tell the rubber grommets right there. It's a glass front. So, and believe it or not, my 5700X hits at 4.850 gigahertz in the PBO curve. I was able to boost it up 200 megahertz. And I've been running like that since about 4 months, 5 months now. No problems. There's a way to boost up your frequency. So if you want to boost your frequency up, but you really don't have to with this kind of card right here, but it's got two 16 gigabyte system RAM cards. It's got 1 terabyte SSD, and it's got 5 ARGB fans, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And it's a small card. It's a 2-fan card. Don't care for the wiring too much, but if you think about it, that's not too bad for the way it looks. And I would not knock it because it comes with Windows 11. And They have a 5600X, and it's a it's kind of a it's looks like it's sold by a different company, but something to think about if you guys are looking for that. But I'll tell you what, for $899, and that's a small, it looks like an ITX platform close to it, or it might be an MATX platform, but it looks, I mean, with the yellow itself, the way it is, oh, that looks good. I did try to set my system up like that with the solid yellow, but mine goes in multi-phase rainbow puke, but I just don't pay attention to it anymore. This is a Panorama RTX 5090 with the 9950X 3D, 96 gigabytes of DDR5, 5600 RAM for $6,800. No, not running this type of processor. Are you kidding me? You should have been running at least 6400 microtransfers, not 5600. 6400. And what advantages does it got? It's got two terabyte NVMe SSDs, Gen 4. I mean, and it's got a 5090. So you're telling me the 5090 is $5,000 and the rest of the system is $1,700? That's where they're coming up with this number. Oh my God, you bet. I would never pay for that. I would never buy it. If they told me, could you review this? I'd say, yeah, I'd review it if you knocked about $4,000 off the price and basically make it a $2,800 computer, not a $6,800 computer. Oh, tongue-tied this week. Thermaltake ports i460R4. It's got an i5 3400, 3600 megahertz, 16 gigabytes of RGB memory. It's got a 4060, 1 terabyte. Look at that. That's not bad. For a budget system, that is not bad. It's got a 13th gen processor. I mean, that's not bad. 16 gigabytes. And it's got a 4060, 1 terabyte. And it's got upgradability, availability, and plus it looks like it's not hampered by a glass front. So it looks like it's got a mesh front. I don't look half bad. Even though that the fans might be fixed colors, who knows? But something you might want to look into. Now, this one, we've seen this before. It's the CyberPower PC, and $10 more. It's got Windows 11. I don't know what it is with the home version. They're not like Dell, Hewlett Packard, Livono, and all them, Acer. They don't have to give the home version. I mean, there's only what, a $10 difference? Not even that. There's only a $3 to $4 difference if you go to buy it off of one of those websites to get the license key for it. So you're paying less than $24 for the operating system. A one-time pay. One-time pay. And you're telling me that you're going to give somebody the home edition on something that looks like this? Give me a break. And you're going to give them 16 gigabytes of system RAM instead of 32? What? That's cheap. That's cheaping out. I know it's $900, but you could have been nice and threw in another 16 for $900. I mean, come on. You're halfway there and you got a decent system and, you want to make it like a gaming PC. It says Gamers Extreme VR Gaming PC, not with 16 gigabytes of system RAM. That's not a gaming PC. because Windows alone is going to chew up 4 to 7 gigabytes of it. So you'll have like maybe 10 or 11 gigabytes left. And most games are chewing up between 16 and 21 gigabytes. You can give the gamer a fighting chance and put 32 gigabytes in there. Do the math. I mean, let's do the worst case scenario. Okay, so if you look at, say, Windows does 7 gigabytes of VRAM, the maximum. Okay, it chews that up. So taking that, and games I've been seeing are about 22, 23 gigabytes. I'll put 23. So that's 30 gigabytes. That's 30 gigabytes of VRAM or system RAM. 30 gigabytes total. And you can't give them 32 gigabytes to where they got 2 gigabytes left over for, a little bit here and there, a little wiggle room. Come on, guys. That's just being damn right cheap. I mean, because I can get 64 gigs of RAM for $140. I'm on DDR4, but still, that's 64 gigs of RAM. And it still operates just as good. So $800, $900. This is iffy, but if they up it another 16 gigs, maybe. $1,000 for this. Not with this CPU. That's a hampered CPU. To me, it is. Because you don't have that much wiggle room when it comes to Gen 5. Because it only gives you X8 on the Gen 5, the PCIe connection. But they can run it at Gen 4, but you're not going to get Gen 5 speed out of that processor. Especially with it, no integrated graphics, because that's what the F means, no integrated graphics. For $1,100, 16 gigabytes of DDR5, Windows 11 Home, come on. That is just plain pure ridiculous. I mean, again, the operating system, you could have went up to a Pro and it's about almost the same price. If you're going to do gaming PCs, you better do it right. 5,500. Look at this. 20 bucks more, you can go up there and get yourself a better one. Semi-better one. So, I mean, when they got turbo boost like that, that means it's a locked motherboard. Anytime you see companies put turbo boost, then that means the motherboard's locked. So that means you're not able to do any tricks on the motherboard far as peaking and tuning. You got one button that says turbo boost, and that's it. So for $879, I don't think it's worth it. $1,200. Let's see what we can get. We can get a 7700. Not bad, but it's got turbo boost. Again, why people keep putting that? That's something that they put back in the 80s. They put on the front of the PC case. It was a button called turbo boost. It's like turbo. You just hit the button and it's supposed to increase the clock speeds. Didn't really work that well. But now they're sitting there getting back into what you would put on the late 80s, early 90s computers. Turbo boost. Supposed to mean something. It don't mean anything. Doesn't mean anything about gaming. I'm going to tell you that much. Look at this, 5,200 RAM. And it's supposed to be gaming. The minimal sweet spot is 6,000, guys. 6,000 microtransfers. And you're putting the minimal of the motherboard and the operating system. You're not putting anything that's going to give the gamers an advantage for $1,200. I mean, for $1,200, I know my system, if I were to change the platform and equal it out, it would still come out to $1,200 with my 4070. But it'd be a hell of a lot better than this for $1,200. Guarantee it. Let's see. But we got to think outside of the box a little bit today. So we're going to think out a little bit out of the box. Here, you got 8 threads gaming PC. You got a Ryzen 5 4X 390 gigahertz. Okay, so are you leaving a code here for somebody to decipher? Because if you go and you look up Vega 11 core graphics, anybody can do this. They can take and go Vega 11 core graphics specs and go to Tech Power Up. It's a Raven processor. It's 704 cores, 44 TMUs, 8 ROMs. Oh my God. So looking at it, Global Foundries, the name of it's Raven, Raven Ridge, predecessors, GCN, successor, bus interface. RX Vega 11 is an integrated graphics solution, come out in 2018, 14 nanometers. It's got 704 shading units, 44 texture mapping units, 8 ROPs, dang dong, 8 ROPs. Frequency of 300 megahertz, which can be boosted up to 1240 megahertz, dang dong. Power draw rate is 25 watt maximum. So you wonder where it puts you on the list? Let's see. You get 1% better with the GT 1030. That's about how good it gets. So, knowing that's how good it gets, with Windows 11 Pro for almost $500. I would save your $500 and put 3 more hundred with it and get a better, decent deal. This one here has got 32 gigabyte of DDR4 for gaming and office. They got $890 and it's got 32 gigabytes of RAM. DDR4. So that means it's in 13400, a 13th gen processor with a DDR4 motherboard. That's not a bad deal. You can still get a lot of juice out of the DDR4. It's still relevant. You can go all the way up to 128 gigabytes of system RAM. I mean, let's be logical about this. Let's be logical. Let's go to Amazon where everybody shops and go here. And let's do 128 GB. Let's see what 128 gets us. Let's see. This says for G-Skill Ripjaw is about 219. You had 264, 234. This is not bad. Because if you really want to go a little bit further than that, I mean, you can really push the numbers. And go right here. So you can get 4 sticks, DDR4 RAM at 3600 megahertz, CL18 for $100 each. So you get 4 sticks, you get 2 sets. So this is every 2 sets. So 64 times 2 is 128 at 3600 megahertz. That's the sweet spot. So you get 4 sticks, you plug them in. They're all matching sticks for $200. No RGB, which I don't care for RGB on my RAM because they're on the fans and it lights up the motherboard. There's no sense of me having that extra little blink because all it does is it pulls power away from the system lamp. So I just don't care for it. So, and compared to, let's say if we add to the mix, let's go DDR5 and go 128 gigabytes. Wow, $300. Well, that's not bad for 179 bucks, but that's not 128 gigabytes of RAM. That's 64. So if you do the math and you do $180 and you times that by two, that's 360 bucks just for that. The crucial, well, DDR5. The vengeance. I bet you this is going to be expensive. This is 64 gigs. This is 128 gigs. Look at this. $429. So you'd be saving $229 going with DDR4. Everybody thinks DDR4 can't game. Guess what? It can game. It got the Zeta R5 Neo series, AMD X Pro, DDR5 RAM, 128 gigabytes, 4 sticks at 32 gigabytes apiece, 6,400 microtransfers at CL32. $870. No way. I would never pay that in anybody's right mind. And when you see these kits that they put in for 5,200 megahertz CL40, they're trying to save as much as they can on the dollar. So going back, looking at this, it's okay. It's got a 4060, that's okay for that price. And that's okay. It's got the works in it. This I might consider because the price with all the factors, yeah, I could see it. 9700X with the 4060 for $1,300. That's not too bad, but I hate when they put the turbo boost on there. That's just so tacky. And a 650-watt power supply. But the good thing is they got 16 gigabytes of DDR5, 6,000 microtransfer RAM. They got a 360 millimeter AIO cooler. They got 2, 3, and 6 fans. Your intake is 2. So they're missing it's this right here. This system is going to be considered a negative pressure because you have to match the amount of intake with the outtake to be an even pressure. So that would make it a positive pressure. But that's more or less like a negative pressure because now the air through the 3 fans have to go through a radiator, which causes an obstruction and causes the airflow to slow down. The only real fan that's pulling the air out is the one that they got right here in the rear. So it's going to be a hot box. I can already tell you that without even putting it on my bench. I can tell you that's what it's going to be. So 5600 GT, got a 550-watt power supply, no graphics card, integrated graphics for $460. You can do a lot with this, but it's not going to have much cache, on the CPU. Probably have like 16 gigabytes or 16 megabytes cache. Be nice to have 16 gigabytes cache, but it's a good starter kind of thing for somebody who wants to start off by getting, small. You can get this right here. It's about almost the same price as the platform, but you get the power supply and you get the M.2 SSD and you get the case and the fans and the cooler all added in to the same price. If you go to buy a combo set, they usually don't have all this added in like that. But also, too, you can probably up the RAM to 32 gigabytes of DDR4, 3600 megahertz RAM, CL18. Probably get a little bit of a decent graphics card. You probably can go 4060 Ti, or you can go a 5060 Ti, which is coming out soon. So you might want to say, okay, well, I'll get this and I'll get that with I'll get the 5060 Ti if it's at $430. If they sell the 5060 Ti 16 gigabytes at $430, you can add it to this system and have a rocking little system. Just by that and adding another 16 gigabytes of RAM, I would trade out the 550 watt and get an 850 watt. But other than that, you would have a rocking little system with the motherboard that's in there. So moving on. Oh, I don't know this brand, but they got a 5700X, which I'm not going to knock. And this got 64 gigabytes of RAM, 1 terabyte PCIe SSD, 4060, Windows 11. I bet you it'd probably be home for $1,250. Like I said, I got a 4070. That's better than that. I would like to see them do something like this with the 4070 and Windows 11 Pro. And the motherboard being able to house 4 SSDs. And with two of the ports, two of the M.2 ports, having two 2 terabyte PCIe 4.0 SSDs in there. So giving it 4 terabyte for this price. Because RAM, the solid state drives are becoming cheaper. Okay, with mine, and I got a hard drive with mine for about $1,350. So my computer has 16 terabytes of hard drive space. Yeah, 16 terabytes of hard drive space. Minimal. I can't remember how much I have now. I think I have like 14 terabytes left, 13 terabytes somewhere in there. But it's a good deal. What I got. Let's see, 13400F. Again, that's not too bad of a price. That's not too bad of a price. Especially if you got 4060 8 gigabytes of VRAM. You can always trade in that part right there for something better. You can always get yourself a 5060 Ti. If you can get new pricing, close to new pricing for that 4060 8 gigabytes, you add another $100 to what they give you for that price, and guess what? You got a 5060 Ti. 16 gigabytes. That would be swap and trade and keeping it at around $900. Yeah, I see it. You can run the 13400F with the new 5060 Ti 16 gigabytes, I would imagine. Yeah, remember, that's only got a 128-bit bus, and the total bandwidth output is like 448 gigabits per second. So when the 4070 is rocking 502 gigabits per second, and I'm running it with the 5700X on an AM4 motherboard, B550, come on. Yeah. I mean, use your imagination when it comes to buying a pre-built. You can do many things with it. They got this one here. It's got the 5700, not the X. I don't know about the 5700. That's kind of a, I don't think so kind of thing. Because I think the cache goes down to 16. megabytes instead of 32 or 36. 32 plus 4 is 36. But it's got a 4060, 16. I mean, the only thing they're giving you different is the case. Let's see, 5070. 5070 with the 9700X with 600 microtransfer RAM, 6,000 microtransfer RAM, 1 terabyte SSD. Oh, that for $1,900. You could have given them at least a 4 terabyte Gen 4 SSD, at least 2 of them, or just 1. I would have went 2 terabyte Gen 4 SSDs in here for that price. Brother, ooh, brother, ooh. $1,900, brother. Ooh. 850 watts, brother. Ooh. You see my point, right? So, nope, would not touch this even if they had the best in the world. Nothing but a hot box. Got to remember, airflow comes through the front, not through these little tentacles or genitals or whatever. Okay, so they're saying that they're running a NVIDIA GeForce RTX 4060 Dual. They're running an Asus NVIDIA RTX 4060 Dual. And they got Windows 11, I bet you, home. So, makes no sense to me for $1,295. Nope, no sense. No sense. I mean, guys, you're getting the point of this. We're not going to make this an all-day ordeal. I know we only did Amazon, but guess what? We did Amazon. So, we did Amazon today because I wanted to focus, and I told you guys before, I'm going to focus on different websites every week. Every Sunday, I'm going to focus on a new website to go through as much as I can for a certain amount of time. So the time is getting large. So that's the reason why I'm cutting my time down. But if you want me to go for a whole hour, make sure you leave your comment on this video and let me know. And then I'll go for an hour. But if you don't want me to go for an hour, then let me know. But as far as I can see right now, if you're looking to buy or get you by kind of PC, they got a couple $800 ones that are worth it. And they could be worth upgrading for future proofing. And they're the next generation on AM5. Now they got some AM4 in there too. Now I know AM4 is not future proof, DDR4, but it's still relevant. It's still relevant on today's gaming because people are still using it. The day that AMD says, okay, we're discontinuing AM4. I know people think that they said it kind of, but as long as they're still building CPUs for the platform, it's not dead yet. So keep that in mind. But when you get a small platform like with a 4060 and you're saying, okay, well, I just bought myself a 5060 Ti and I went and bought that $800 platform, I'm going to take my 4060 out and put that 5060 Ti in there. Go ahead. The only thing you got to make sure is that your power supply is at least 800 watts or greater. Now, you can get an 850 watt power supply for $80, brand new. So if that's the route you're wanting to go, you can take and transform your system a little bit, but then you got the perfect platform, especially if you got a decent processor, it'll run good for the next 5 years. I mean, Yeah, I'm talking about the 5060 Ti 16 gigabytes because I'm sitting there thinking to myself, that might be a really good GPU. For low budget gaming, if it's 430 bucks, it could be a deal. Especially in pre-built land, to where if you're getting a decent pre-built that's low cost and you want something that's below $1,000, then if you look at it, that could be something. I mean, if you take and turn around and get the 4060 in there and you take and turn around and you sell the 4060 for three quarters of the price of the 5060 Ti, 16 gigabyte, and you only have to add $100 to it. So that means it's only adding $100 to your system. So that makes your system $1,000. That's it. It's simple. I see it at $1,000 with the 5060 Ti, 16 gigabytes of VRAM. And an $800, $900 system perfectly and make it $1,000 for the perfect little gaming PC. Simple. All right, guys, I'm going to get out of here. I said my 2 cents, and I hope you enjoyed being here today with me and going through a little bit of the PCs pre-built that are on the market. But next week, what we're going to do is we're going to take and go through Newegg. I'm going to tell you before the next video comes out, what we're going to be doing. We're going to be going through Newegg and see what they got and dig a little bit and go through each one of their pre-built PCs. But anyway, if you enjoyed the video, make sure you hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and don't forget about the notification bell so you know when I post the next video. Until the next time. I know I should do this right. Until the next time, in the next video, you know it is, and we'll see you on the next one.